Week 8 continues this evening from Jornada de Muerto as the Albuquerque Adams play host to the Charleston Predators. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Daggs, and with me in the booth is Gerald Smith, fresh on the ground from Buffalo. It's a nice, safe, light speed flight from Buffalo on the SFL jet. Great time. Our stats crew tonight, Tyler Falk, Jacob Clear. Our commissioner and producer is Cameron Irvine. You're watching the Simulation Football League on YouTube. That was a wicked fast plane, Gerald. But we're here.
Very, very fast. And you know, I was thinking about, like, hey, we come from, like, the Buffalo region down here to New Mexico.
Yeah.
This is the New Mexico. And apparently, for the game that's happening this weekend for you guys, you got to go down to the old Mexico.
Well, we're actually...
Because this is a new one.
Yeah, I think we're actually going to head to Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you got to go down there to hop on a plane.
The Windy City.
You don't fly with your team?
We actually take a little boat across the Rio Grande. There's some visa issues. Anywho, let's get this game started tonight. Albuquerque hosting Charleston Predators. Albuquerque's going to get things started on offense first this evening. Kick goes deep into the end zone. And that is where they will kneel it down, bring it out to the 20-yard line, and Cyrus Jive will come out onto the field. Top 10 in multiple categories, actually top 5 in a couple. Gerald, he's top 5 in completions, top 5 in attempts, just sitting out top 5 in passing yardage, top 10 in completion percentage. It's top 10 in the fewest picks in the league. He's having a great season so far at the quarterback position for Albuquerque. He's going to throw on the first play of the game, and that one's going to be a deep pass over the middle, but ends up falling incomplete. As Sam Blattner in coverage knocks it free. Starting offense for Albuquerque, Cyrus Jive is the quarterback. Craig Reynolds, Jason Williams are the halfbacks. Justin Williams at fullback. Ronnie Shanahan, Michael Knight, Greg Corky, Kay Marion are the wide receivers. Jack Wall at tight end. Queen Porter, Jerian Jones, and Leah Williams at tackle, left guard, and right guard respectively. 3 receivers set down to the bottom. Jive to throw. Once again, has all day in the pocket. Another deep pass over the middle. Incomplete, but a flag on the play. Some defensive PI.
Yeah, and when you can get free yards like that, why not? And it didn't. I don't even know. I guess we're going to get another look at it. I want to see if he impeded the guy from getting the ball. It looked like it went behind everybody. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's some clear PI on that one by Sam Blattner. Had a good pass breakup on the first play, and then a 22-yard penalty brings it up to the 42-yard line. First down and 10, Albuquerque. Third pass attempt. Now another deep pass over the middle and also incomplete. So 0 for 3 on the 3 deep passing attempts.
When's the last time you can say, hey, no pass has been completed, no yards on the plays that they've actually run, but they've actually got themselves gained 22 yards.
Yeah, 0 for 3 passing, but first down and 10 from the 20.
And no runs.
From the 22-yard game. Gonna stick to the sky and complete a pass this time, getting it down to Kay Marion. 6'6" target. Coming over to Albuquerque in the offseason from the Atlanta Swarm. We'll look at some of the defenders here on this Charleston defensive squad. Deterian Darshington, Dan Dash, Anthony Ellison, John Nevels, and Forrest Dalton on the defensive line. You got Jack Brown at inside linebacker, Ben Bowman, Khalil Thomas at outside linebacker. We'll look at the secondary after this draw play. First running play of the day to Jason Williams. That's a gain of 3. The secondary is made up of J.W. Hartshorn, Brandon Ewing, Leo Morris, Ryan Cook, Matt Ryan, Sam Blattner, Jacob Clear, John Stamongo, and a partridge in a pear tree. Jive on second down. Dumps this one down to Jack Wall. Picks up a nice 4-yard gain, 3rd down and 3, and I'll let you say something.
Well, they're actually, after they got the penalty, got down, they got a free 22 yards. They're actually starting to kind of inch down, and they're actually on the edge of field goal-ish range here if they're able to pick up a first down.
Jive, deep drop, throws, gets that one complete as well. K. Marion brings that right up basically to field goal range at this point.
Yeah, and look, and K. Marion is actually their leading receiver, right alongside on this team with, Greg Corky, right? But K. Marion actually leads the team in receptions. And look, and she's had 2 catches on this drive that's actually gotten them a little bit further down. So, Cyrus Jive is keeping to his, at least on this drive, keeping to his ways to his successful passing.
Jive over the middle again. Complete. They started off with deep ball. It wasn't working. Already adjusted to some shorter passing routes and looks to be more successful. Had a tough outing last week, Gerald, against Indianapolis. A game of field goals. Grand total of 4 between the 2 teams. Indianapolis with 3 of them. And Albuquerque only netting a single field goal all game. And an impressive opening drive here. Marching right down the field. They've got a 1st and 10 inside the red zone.
Yeah, and in their losses, they've actually struggled to score like hardly any point at all. I mean, they've just, gotten, 7-1 game 3, last week, and in a loss, believe it or not, against Baltimore. We was in calling a Baltimore game.
Yeah.
Just recently, it's kind of hard to believe like the struggles that the Adams offense have had, that they've actually scored 30+ points against a Baltimore team, but they lost that game 51-34.
Yeah, it's crazy. Put up that kind of points and lose. Jive. Oh, one-handed catch. Jack Wall gets it all the way down to about the 2. 1st down and goal for Albuquerque, and they're already looking like they might get a touchdown on the board after not getting one last week.
Yeah, and it wasn't looking so good, right? You go over 3 of passing, and you get a pass interference call, and then all of a sudden you find something, right? And they found a couple of little short routes and hitting K. Marion, and then and then here you find Jack Wall coming, catching it inside. I thought he got further down than that. They spotted him at the 2.
Offset eye in the backfield now on 1st down and goal. Jive hands it off. That one goes to Michael Knight into the end zone for an Albuquerque touchdown.
What do? You get down there. Let's not give it to these running backs who've been in the league a while and are used to running the ball. Let's give it to guys used to catching the ball and send them out on the edge. But whatever they do, they're on the board this game with a touchdown, something they weren't able to do last week. So they're already starting out here at home, getting themselves a touchdown. Very, very good opening drive by Albuquerque.
And it's a strategy that we saw the Florida Storm use heavily in the championship game last season. And imitation is the greatest form of flattery, right? That's the saying. And we've seen a lot of teams this season that have dabbled in that a little bit. And we just saw it here as Michael Knight runs it in for a touchdown. He's on the season actually got 14 carries now, and that is his 3rd rushing touchdown on the season. See what Charleston can do. They return it up to the 33-yard line, get things started for them on offense. The Lake Man out at quarterback for Charleston. He went 21 of 33, 296 yards in their win over Lexington last week, 27-20 victory. And the Lake Man hands it off to Nick Hoagland. Nick Hoagland, 12 attempts, 49 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns last week.
And Charleston is very interesting, right? We know a lot of teams, right? Way back in the day, it was taboo to have more than one running back on the roster. And then they've actually taken it a bit further, where they actually have 4 people in this backfield that actually run the ball. 2 running backs, 2 fullbacks. All of them have 20+ carries on the season. So they do something with this Charleston offense that most people very likely would not do, with having all these type of runners coming out of the backfield.
For sure, yeah. Ian Francis, the other running back, just had that carry. 3rd down and 6. Lakeman shuffles, throws, and that one's incomplete. Tries to hit a target downfield, can't connect, and a quick 3 and out for the Predators.
Yeah, twice went up to try and get the ball, but he actually got hit while he was trying to bring it down. And look, and this is a very good start for Albuquerque, right? I mentioned it in our, the kickoff show early on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to think about Albuquerque from one week to the next. Like, which team's going to show up? So far today, they've actually shown some good things on offense in their first drive and being able to get their opponent, to hit a punt after only a short few plays. And you did question, too, during our show earlier in the night that Charleston hasn't showed you much because they are 4-2, but the opponents that they have beat is of questionable talent.
Well, they're teams that haven't performed as well as others this season. And, I know Jacob Clear is going to yell at me at some point when he gets around to watching our show. But, so far Albuquerque's sticking it to him. It's only been a drive and a play, but, they're taking advantage of some holes over the middle. We've seen a lot of passes over the middle, and they're getting chunk yardage right now.
Yeah, and I was just about to mention that a lot of the damage by Albuquerque in the pass game has been right there over the middle. Like, the linebackers are not getting deep enough, and they're losing, where these receivers are and everything else. And we know how good Jack Brown is in the linebacker position. So, but Albuquerque is looking pretty good as of right now through just, one drive and a little bit of this one.
2nd down and 7 now for the Adams. Ball is handed off to Justin Williams. He'll pick up a gain of 4, setting up Albuquerque with a 3rd down and 3.
See, and we do know, right, just on the season, how opportunistic this defense has been. They've gotten, 11 interceptions on the season, and 5 of those by the Charleston defense have been returned for touchdowns. I mean, do you think we're, wow.
Pass on 3rd and 3.
Hey, Marion again.
Yeah, out of a heavy set, too. I thought for sure they were going to run that one. They surprised, I think, everybody with the pass. K. Marion opened down the field, big gain on 3rd and 3.
Yeah,
but to your point.
Yeah, it's just that, hey, how much is Charleston going to rely on getting those pick sixes and everything else that's returned in for touchdowns, right? Hey, look, you got to take the ball away, but you also have to play a good enough defense to stop your opponent when your opponent isn't giving you the opportunity to take the ball away.
20-yard completion on 3rd down and 3, followed by a 4-yard pickup on the ground by Jason Williams, and Albuquerque's on the move once again, knocking on the door of potentially going up 2 scores. Albuquerque's such a confusing team, Gerald. They've only played at home twice so far. They won both of those games. Both of them were multiple score victories. The first one, I think we called that game, didn't we? Denver Nightwings got shut out by Albuquerque 23-0 all the way back in week 2. They then went on the road to the game that you mentioned earlier in week 4 at Baltimore, where Albuquerque put up 34 points and lost 51-34. And then, of course, returning home in week 5, hosting the Fort Worth Toros, starting or continuing the Toros skid. They won that game. So far in their short time as a major league franchise, Albuquerque's really enjoyed playing at home, and they're on another impressive drive right now.
Yeah, it's and maybe it's the radiation. It gives them superpowers or something, because they're nearly. It's kind of like they're 2-4, right? I can't imagine seeing how these first 2 drives are going for them. Why they're sitting at 2-4? Yeah. It's mind-boggling right now, especially how good that they have played at home, right? Shutting another team out. They've only allowed 1 touchdown, 1 offensive touchdown at home this season. Their defense.
That's impressive.
I know it's only 2 games, but here, we got this one going here. But 1 touchdown, 1 offensive touchdown, and in their 2 wins and in their 2 home games.
Jive in the gun. Throws, end zone, touchdown Albuquerque. And they're already up 2 scores.
Greg Corky and Kay Marion are kind of going back and forth with the stuff. Who wants the team lead in receptions and everything else? Greg Corky gets this touchdown here and throws it, and the ball was thrown in traffic from Cyrus Chai, but he's able to pick it in, and that wily old veteran that's been in the league for 13 seasons, his first in Albuquerque, gets his team a 2-score lead.
Wild. And, you know, to add to that stat that you mentioned, only 1 touchdown allowed at home. It wasn't even an offensive, almost missed the extra point. It wasn't even an offensive touchdown. It was, a fluke kick return touchdown that Fort Worth scored. They have allowed 0 offensive touchdowns in this stadium. Granted, it's through 2 games. It's still an impressive stat. There's still a lot of games left to be played here.
That's 8 quarters.
Yeah.
And including here, we could be looking at 9 quarters of ball with no offensive touchdown scored, no offensive points scored at all. And that's another stat too in its own, because they shut out Denver in week 2, like you said. And if it's a kick return, right, they still didn't allow any points against Fort Worth. So look what we're looking at here. They haven't given up any points as a defensive unit at home.
Tough place to play.
That's crazy to think.
It's very crazy to think. See what the Lake Man can do.
Oh,
start with a handoff. We got a chaw. We got a chaw.
Brian James just ran right in. I'm surprised they got a yard out of that. Untouched from the strong safety position. Just kind of blowing right in there.
2nd down and 9.
So fast.
Lakeman throws, completes, gets a 1st down and more. Doug Spelling off to the races. Passes the 30, spins, tries to get that first offensive touchdown scored in the stadium, but gets tackled at around the 20-yard line. A huge gain by Spelling.
Yeah, the Joker, Jack Napier, had to come up with a stop and chase him down. Tried to put the spin move on him, but he couldn't do it. He was able to bring him down. I thought that was going to be something that was going to change the way the game was going to go, but what a catch and run by Doug Spelling.
48 yards gained on that play.
Wow.
The first offensive points are now within reach as Charleston sets up at the Albuquerque 22. Firing down the middle. That one is incomplete. John Lakeman is the quarterback. Ian Francis, Nick Hoagland are the halfbacks. Terrell Sutherland and Brad Taylor-Wright are the fullbacks. At wide receiver, you got Doug Spelling, Nick Twice, Zorro Lunar, Doug Britton. Leon Sandcastle, Xavier Solomon, and Bredington James are the tight ends. 2nd down and 10. Run up the gut, stuffed. Right at the line, William Patterson.
Albuquerque is going to have to be careful with all the men they are sending in there to pressure the quarterback, because if they don't or are not able to contain and they are able to pick up these blitzes, they could be looking at a strange game.
Oh, look at that one-handed catch in traffic. Nick Twice gets the catch and gets the 1st down. If I'm not mistaken, that is Nick Twice. It is. That's Nick Twice's first catch on the season, Gerald.
Are we sure about that? We've called a Charleston game, and we've mentioned Nick Twice, unless...
Nick Twice has been doing kick returns.
Maybe that's it.
Could be. That run up the middle is stuffed as well. That'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Your score at the end of the first quarter, Albuquerque 14, Charleston 0. You're watching the Simulation Football League on YouTube.
And we can keep counting them, because now that makes 9 straight quarters for this Albuquerque defense where they have not surrendered any points to their opponent yet. But here Charleston is having their 4-2 record, coming in here on their 2nd drive, and they're looking to put points on the board.
Ball is handed off up the middle. No gain on the play. 3rd down and goal.
And I'm wondering what Charleston is going to do here. They have the room to to kind of, they're 10 yards out. It's third and goal, but they are on the 11-yard line here because they got so many tackles for losses on them. But I don't know. We'll see.
Lakeman throws towards the end zone, and that one is incomplete. Trying to get it back down to Nick twice.
And that was a very dangerous throw. They had 4 Adam defenders in the end zone, and it wasn't the best decision to throw it there, but it seems like, hey, they got a field goal attempt here, so they are going to potentially get the first points on the board.
Field goal is up. Field goal is good, and the first... Can you even call them offense? You can't. It's special teams.
I mean, it's special teams, but it's like
Nope, don't count.
The offense got them there. I mean, it's. I'm calling it. It's the offensive points.
All right, first offensive points scored against Albuquerque in their home stadium.
I'd take that. 3 games allowing 3 points. Well, two games in a quarter.
Right. Well, let's see what Albuquerque can do on this drive, if they even bother having a drive. Ronnie Shanahan trying to take that one to the house. Gets it up to the 38-yard line.
And I don't know. It just seems like I know we've only gone through one quarter right now, but it just seems like Albuquerque's playing at a faster pace than what Charleston is right now.
Yeah.
So and we're going to see if they're going to continue, like doing what they've done like their previous 2 drives and going down there and get points. So and they have really good starting field position at near their own 40-yard line.
Jive to throw. Under pressure. Oh, gosh. I thought he was throwing that right to Jack Brown.
I was about to say the same thing. He was like, "Oh yeah, there's a guy. Let me throw it."
Oh, he's like, "Oh hey, Jack."
Yeah, pocket was starting to collapse and everything else, and it just, it just didn't go. And it was an emergency throw, and it was. I mean, that's only a second incompletion.
Yeah, in the past 10
attempts.
Currently 8 of 11. Jive to throw again. Down the right side. That one's also incomplete. Batted away by Brandon Ewing.
Yeah, he was looking for Jack Wall, who actually had 2 guys around him. It's just, I don't know. We've seen a couple of throws by these, like each quarterback on each squad into coverage right there. And Jack Wall tried to get a hand up and pull it down. He just couldn't do it.
So 3rd down and 10 coming up. Albuquerque scoring touchdowns on their first 2 possessions. Trying to keep this drive alive. Jive's going to run. He's got room, but he slides. And tackled short of the line to gain. And Buzz Killington on the field to punt for Albuquerque.
Buzz Killington. What a name that is. But look, Charleston actually kind of getting their defense back involved and being able to shut down, Albuquerque's drive here to get their offense the ball back. And hopefully they can go down and get themselves, oh my God, he just murdered a man.
Gets the ball up to the 25-yard line. Doug Britton on the return. Doug Britton known for his return prowess back at Las Vegas.
Yeah, and he does it in a way like he's different from Gabriel Manning, where Gabriel Manning does it with speed and finesse. Like Doug does it with like power. He'll run through a people to get to his destination.
Charleston trying to get some more points on the board. We'll start with a run up the middle.
So they're going to have to get. I would say they're going to have to get their run game going and be a little bit more balanced. Charleston is, because how stingy the Adams have been at home this season, thus far. I think it's odd to say a 4-2 team. One of their toughest tests of the season is going to be against a 2-4 team.
Yeah,
it just doesn't. I mean, you
look
look
at
it on
the way
paper,
the
just
chips fall, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it just, this is going to be one of their toughest tests that they've had so far this season.
I agree. Quick drive so far, just like that. A 3rd down and 7. Pressure on its way. Forced to get rid of it and find Spelling down the middle of the field, all the way up to the 50-yard line. Doug Spelling has been a great pickup by Charleston this season. He was on the Aztecs. We wanted to keep him, and he decided to head over to Charleston, and now he's their leading receiver.
Yeah, and Doug Spelling also come from, where we were just where he comes from, the Buffalo team in Queen City, moved over to you guys, and then just had a short stay and then moved right back over to Charleston. And look, and this is his 2nd big catch of the game.
Yep, and we'll probably see some more out of that too. That run goes for a loss of 1 on the play. This offensive line has a big part in the running game and passing game for Charleston. DeBrickashaw Molyneux, Perrin Ibarra, Leroy James, Finley James, and Jamarcus LaMarcus, the 17th.
Sack.
Sack on the play. Good for a loss of 5. Cedric Killings gets into the backfield for Albuquerque. A rare Killings sack.
Yeah, and they're actually lining up Bryant James, it seems like, at the linebacker position. So the speed that he offers at that linebacker position, his normal position is a free safety, but him getting in there and taking on his blocks so fast actually allowed Killings to get in there and get that sack.
3rd and super long now. Under pressure again, and that one is incomplete. Zorro Lunar got lit up.
John Lakeman was also under duress back there as well because they were starting to get to him. Yeah. He had to get rid of the pass because it was coming right around the edge, and Lunar had no shot. It got his hands, but it got hit so hard on the back end. It just there's no way he's gonna pull that in.
So the score remains 14-3. The punt will drop down at the 10, back to the 1, into the end zone for a touchback. Eric Blueberry, the punter for Charleston, trying to pin the Adams back deep. But the ball will be placed out at the 20-yard line. Cyrus Jive, 8 of 12, about 90 yards. Got a touchdown on the day.
And it seems like these defenses for both squads, at least the last 2 drives, right, they have started to settle in a little bit, right? And now we're going to see how the offenses, are going to react to how tough the defenses are playing now.
Jive over the middle into triple coverage, and that one is somehow caught. K. Marion, speaking of great free agent signing of receivers, you got Doug Spelling on the Charleston side. How about K. Marion?
She's been like dynamic even back in her Sioux Fall days. And then, she went over to Atlanta for a season, and now she's over here with the Adams, and she's just picking up where she's left off each and every season. She's like a top tier talent and a wide receiver that can actually take over a game.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason Williams struggling to get anything going on the ground. You saw stat line put up earlier about difference in rushing yards. Albuquerque certainly has more rushing yards. They're doing it a variety of ways. They've got Craig Reynolds rushing it, Jason Williams, Justin Williams, even Michael Knight.
Yeah, and they're going to have to do a whole lot of, oh wow.
K. Marion again.
That's the communication right there between the quarterback and wide receiver right there, because you had the DB playing a little bit deeper, and you know what they did? They throw somewhat of a back shoulder or improvised stop route right there, and she's able to make that adjustment with Cyrus Jive recognizing that.
I formation on 3rd and inches. Oh, easily picks that one up. A great rush right up the gut by Jason Williams.
Yeah, look, and they're doing what they needed to do on this drive. They've gotten themselves now into Charleston territory, and they're having a nice mix right now of the pass and the run.
First down and 10 from the 48. 2-yard pickup.
That looks more accurate. So
Charleston has at least a couple.
Right. So look, and that's how Albuquerque's been moving the ball so far. They've been doing really, really well.
Four receiver set now. On second down, dumping that one down, and well defended by Charleston.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have thought Justin Williams would take a hit like that with his 260-pound frame, and getting hit by, Ryan Cook coming in there, at 220 pounds. He's got 40 pounds on him.
5 wide receiver look on third down and 7. Jack Wall moves down into the slot at the bottom. Jive over the middle. Oh, jumping and trying to catch it. Just out of reach. Tried to get it to Jack Wall.
A little bit too high. Jack Wall was open. He had some separation right there. That's a missed opportunity for the Adams right there to actually get themselves, pretty close to the red zone right there too. He just missed it.
Buzz Killington punting this one away for Albuquerque. Punt comes down at the 20. Returns it up to the 26-yard line. Let's talk about drive summaries so far for Charleston. On their first one, quick 3 and out, they had to punt that one away. On their second drive, which, believe it or not, didn't actually finish until the second quarter. They didn't get the ball until darn near the end of the first quarter. They were able to get some points out of that one. 9 plays, 59 yards, moved down the field. It was nice and methodical. Got their first points of the night. First point scored other than the kick return touchdown in this stadium. But then on their next drive, they'd only moved the ball 20 yards, had to punt that one away as well. So we'll see what they can do on this one. Lakeman under pressure, throws, gets it away. Lunar couldn't haul that one in. That defense is all over Lakeman. He's been under pressure all night.
Yeah, and they're sending a ton of pressure, right? They're actually daring him to try and throw downfield, it seems like. They're sending so many people. I mean, they're sending like sometimes 6 guys, and that's more defenders than what your offensive lineman can block.
Quick handoff to the fullback just to try to get some yards. Brad Taylor Wright picks up a few. Get third down and 7.
Yeah, Charleston is going to have to figure out a way to start moving the ball because they actually got into field goal range because of Doug's. There's a nice catch.
Yeah, connecting with Lunar that time. First down in Albuquerque territory.
Right. So Charleston had that one splash play from Doug Spelling early on in the first quarter, which got them near field goal range, and they were able to get a field goal out of that drive. I don't think Charleston can just solely depend on getting that splash play to get them the yards they needed. They're going to have to somewhat put together a methodical type drive and come away with a touchdown, not a field goal.
Right. And they got to get this running game going. That was the stat that you saw up on the screen a little while ago. Albuquerque, they're getting the rushes done in a variety of fashions. They're getting some yards. They're actually averaging some decent yards too. 2 of the rushers averaging 5.5 per carry. Charleston, the rushing game has been non-existent so far. They've got some passing plays. That one to Doug Britton, his first catch of the night, a 15-yard reception. You got Lunar with a 15-yard reception, Nick Twice with a 12-yard reception. Of course, Doug Spelling, who you mentioned, has got a couple catches. One went for 48. The other one for some quick maths, 22. He's got 70 yards. 2-minute warning here in the first half. But they got to get this running game going too, to get that long, methodical drive going.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, he's at 50% passing right now, but I don't know if they can sustain it, especially with the pressure they're actually putting on the quarterback.
Handoff. Only goes for a gain of 2. The SFL convention is headed to Baltimore for the 2025 convention, kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th and 14th. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, looking out over Baltimore's Inner Harbor, and revel in the league's first convention on the East Coast. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. And the entire Charleston roster should be there. It's just up the street. I mean, it's a little drive.
Well, and they have a large roster.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. I'd love to see an entire team. What are the odds an entire team shows up?
Very small, but it's possible.
I didn't like that play call at all.
Yeah, delay handoff. That was always one of Matt Wilson's least favorite plays.
Was it a delayed handoff?
I think it was a delayed draw, yeah. And he kind of handed it off forward. Oh, no, it was a shovel pass. You're right.
And this is
the Lake Man shovel.
And this is a long field goal attempt here.
Kicker practically standing on the logo. Brad Bretchett has the distance, has the field goal. It's good.
He put some English on it. Looked like it wasn't going there, but was able to draw it back. It looks like it's a holy cow. That's like almost a 50-yarder. That's a long boy.
That was a long boy.
But he got it in there. Kept it true, and they closed it down to a one-score game. So
sure
it was a success, right? I'm talking about touchdowns, and they're like, nah, man, we just need to get in there just to reduce it to a one-score game, and they're able to do that.
Officially a 49-yarder, but still pretty darn close. Goes into the end zone for a touchback. You know, if he ends up getting credited by the official stats with a 50-yarder, he'd get a $250,000 incentive in his progression paycheck. We're just handing out money left and right tonight.
I know,
boy.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, where's the ones in my pocket? I guess we got a ride on Supersonic Jet, so
we did, yeah. I mean, that's your incentive.
That's costly,
and it's not good for the planet.
So speaking of the Supersonic Jet, right? How much time does it knock off compared to a normal airline?
Well, it depends on how far you're flying.
Okay, so say it's a 12-hour flight. We're going overseas.
Okay, you can get it done in like 4 hours.
It's amazing.
That's what I'm saying. You're flying at the speed of sound, above the speed of sound even. It's fast.
Man, I can fly to Europe in 4 hours.
Sure can.
I'm booking a vacay.
The jets are retired.
Cameron has one.
Well, yeah, but we use it for SFL. It's league business. We don't have a team in Europe anymore.
I guess.
Oh, dear. Jive to throw. 10 seconds left in the half.
Oh,
nice one-handed catch by Greg Corky, but all for nothing. They're just going to let the clock run out.
Why would you let the time run out?
Pad and stats.
I don't understand. Like,
they could have tried a Hail Mary.
It was a catch near midfield. I don't know why you just wouldn't at least try to Hail Mary it. Cyrus Stroud's worried about his stats, so he didn't worry about calling a timeout. Like, he's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league right now.
That's your score at the half. Albuquerque still out in front. This one 14-6 over the Charleston Predators as we head to the half. Take a look at the first half stats and some snapshots. Gerald, your thoughts on the game so far?
Well, it looked like it was all Albuquerque to start with, right? They come rushing out to a 14-0 lead, but Charleston seems to have stabilized themselves a bit, right? And are able to get down there and scratch away and, scrape together 6 points to close it down to a one-score lead. So right now, like, the game is just kind of, I think it's wide open, right? It's still out there for, either team to take a step forward and gain a momentum, and we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, it should be a great second half. It's still anyone's ball game. Charleston gets the ball to start the second half, and let's take a quick halftime break presented by Brakes GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
And Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady. Brady! Tom Brady!
Still not sure who they're speaking of there. Break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Breaks GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Breaks GPT offers you a shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Breaks GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, breaksgpt.com. A humongous headliner like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. Got it. I want to know who did their soundtrack. I think I might put
That's a
that
nice
in.
little jingle.
I might do my little jingle, like I might make that my waiting tone when your phone rings. Is that still a thing?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
You're talking
ring
like when you call
every-
somebody and
yeah,
it
would-
plays a little song. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's gone. We've got an update from the other game going on. Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios.
Thank you, Mike. LA hosting Indianapolis tonight. And how about the Los Angeles Lycans? No touchdowns last week. 4. Count them, 4 on offense this week. What a natural pick. Elsie Pryor with the score. 28-7 LA in the fourth. Back to you.
Well,
All I had to do is bash that team. And
that's it.
it just happened.
Whoever you talk bad about in the pregame show, they do
Rochelle's
good.
going to sue me. She's going to slap me.
Oh, yeah, more than likely.
Because I would basically said she needs to be replaced as coach.
You did. You didn't basically say she needed to be replaced. You did say. You said, listen, here's what I think. And I'm sorry, Rochelle, but they need a new coach. Rochelle says, yeah, watch this.
Going to have the best game of the season. But
Yeah.
I still think they may run in a push-pull situation. So
We'll see.
we'll see.
One-yard tackle for a loss. There he is again,
Yeah, Killings is like,
killing it.
yeah, he literally is. Good old Cedric going to earn himself more money. What does that guy get if he gets a sack? He doesn't make any money. They
Oh, he
put him
does.
off the street.
He gets $4.38.
Whoa.
Nice catch on the left-hand side. Xavier Solomon getting in on the action.
That was nearly tipped up in the air for a tip drill type situation by Amar Bryant Jr. Just missed it right out of his reach. And Xavier Solomon, look, and Charleston got a really favorable spot on that as well.
First down and 10 in Albuquerque territory. Nick Hoagland only picks up 2. The starting defense for the Albuquerque Adams. Chris Porter, Leo Jefferson, and Joshua Williams on the defensive line. Seth Berlin, Keenan Samuels, and William Patterson at linebacker. Amar Bryant Jr. and Daniel Valentine are the corners. TJ Frosty, Jack Napier, Bryant James are your safeties. They're down and 8.
I'm literally going to have to stop doing hot takes. I don't know if I had a hot take. That wasn't so hot. That was just set
That
up
was
for
just
me
a take, yeah. It was just a
about
standard
LA,
take.
but I'm like,
Oh, yeah, I know.
but
what you
then I
mean.
had like such glowing things to say about Indy, and they are making me look like a really, really terrible.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna never pick them again. I might call
geez.
Johnny Pickler up and said, "Look what you're doing to me."
Nick Twice gets another catch. Gets a first down for Charleston. They're on the move once again. You know, Albuquerque look like they might be able to run away with this one, Gerald, as we saw their first 2 drives. Their first 2 possessions, they got a rushing touchdown after a 12-play, 80-yard drive. Then they had a 9-play, 78-yard drive with a 9-yard passing touchdown, all in the first quarter. Held Charleston to a 3-and-out. I'm like, woof, this game might be over quick. And Charleston, they're knocking on the door right now. They want to get this one, if not tied up, only a 1-point game.
Yeah, and the leg man is making some really good throws. Like the
very nice
previous
throws,
throw
yeah.
right before this one right here, he had a line, one of his offensive linemen being pushed back into his face, threw that off of his back foot and threw it where only his receiver can reach out and grab it.
Good blocking
Oh,
set up
wow.
on that run. Ian Francis had one man to beat. Couldn't beat him, but got the first down.
Ian Francis coming there and making it huge. He had very good blocking on the line right there. You had one guy out there. If he could have hit a spin move or something like that, we could be looking at, a potential tie ball game coming up. I mean, but they're having a really, really great drive right here.
Lunar moves up top. That one up the middle by Hoagland for a gain of 4. Updated look at the team stats. Albuquerque leading in points, leading in yards. Passing yards about the same. Rushing yards still very much in Albuquerque's favor, although Charleston making some headway on that ground.
Yeah, and most of those yards from Albuquerque was done on their first 2 drives when they drove down and get that stuff. So, the Charleston defense has, stiffened up and slowed their offense down and haven't given up any points in the last quarter and a half now. So I think Charleston kind of has them right where they want them.
Delayed handoff to Francis sets up Charleston with a first down and goal. Making some move.
Look, and I did mention as well, like Charleston is sneaky, right? They take what they're given and they just chip away. They grind it out. So, and they're seemingly doing that exact thing right here.
Split backs in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Hoagland. Hoagland picks up about half of what was needed. Second down and goal from about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, and if Albuquerque gives up a touchdown here, I'm not saying they're going to hit the panic button, but they're going to have to start trying to reevaluate what they're actually doing offensively because, their offense has been shut down.
Up the middle once again, and Francis picks up half of what was left. 3rd and goal from the 1.5.
So Charleston is not the best at scoring in the red zone. They ranked 11th in the league. They are scoring 90% in the end zone.
Kopech hands it off, and that one's into the end zone for a Charleston touchdown. Ian Francis crosses the line.
And as I say that, they just make me eat my words. I'm like, no, man, we can score in the red zone without a doubt. So, look, here we are. Do you go for 2 here or only when you need it?
I think the rule is you only go for it when you need it. I'd like to get the game tied up.
Yeah.
Hey, Lake Man's on the field. Yeah, they're going to try to get it tied up right now.
And they're going to, but do you run from the 2?
Yeah, why not? Hand that off. Go right up the gut.
I think it's got to be to Hoagland.
Lakeman hands it off right up the gut, and Francis gets stuffed. Don't listen to me. What do I know? I had some good play call suggestions for Queen City, but that one didn't work.
Well, I don't like the draw play call there because I
would have done a quick handoff.
Yeah, so I think you give the defense too much time to react and get them in some sort of a pursuit. At that point, if you are playing against really good defenders, which they are, you run in a situation where they're going to recognize the offensive linemen and the receivers that are on the field blocking first, and they're going to recognize run, and they're going to be expecting it.
Mike gets it up to the 30-yard line. We've got an update from L.A. Cameron Irvine, take it away.
Thank you, Mike. Watch this play. Anthony Wyo takes it away from Sully Richardson, and look at the blocking down the field. Picks up 2 after Indy put together an offensive touchdown drive. This game has gotten interesting. 28-21 LA, 6 minutes left. Back to you.
Uh-oh.
That's the push-pull door I was talking about. It's happening.
They find a way to lose. It's just bizarre.
They can't cross the threshold to finishing a game. Hey, but look, it's 6 minutes left. Who knows?
Hey, they're still out in front right now, so we'll see what happens. Speaking of being out in front, Albuquerque now nursing a 2-point lead. They want to get back down the field and score. They're going to start off with a nice pass over the middle to Kay Marion.
Kay Marion is so good. She is so... I have to say, she's probably one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league right now.
Yeah. 6'6" target is always nice to have for your quarterback.
No, and she's got great hands.
Oh, yeah. Tackle for a loss that time is Craig Reynolds will lose a yard. Second down and 11. How many likes do we have on this video so far? Probably not 4,000, so it's not enough. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you have your notifications on so you don't miss a minute of SFL and SFLM action, and help the channel grow through your support. Jive over the middle. Complete for another big gain. That one to Jack Wall.
Jive had a small window to fit that in there, and he threw it at the exact right time, right when he got past Jack Brown. Threw it before Jack Wall was even behind Jack Brown, and able to fit it right in that spot, right in front of the safety. What a phenomenal throw. And it just kind of sums up basically how Jive has been passing all season. He's been great.
Incomplete pass. Second down and 10. Down at about the 34-yard line.
And I don't know if Charleston can give up many more yards here if they're trying to keep this in just this field goal-ish type thing, right? So, you know, this is on the fringe range for any field goal kicker right here. So, you know, any more yards as they approach the 30.
Jive gets those yards right there. To Michael Knight, 3rd down and 3 coming up.
Oh, Michael Knight can run. Michael Knight can catch too.
He does it all.
Yeah. So, look, and here we go. It's they're within field goal range right now, and they're actually starting to have an answer for what the Charleston defense has been throwing at them right here. So, this is a very impressive drive by Albuquerque.
Oh, that quick pass. I like the play design there, but just couldn't quite execute it. Tried to hit Jack Wall on a quick pass to the tight end. 4th down and 3, and we will see Ricky Bobby out for a field goal try.
I think they threw it too quick because they had they had K. Marion going right across the front of the offensive line, wide open. They only need 3 yards, and they chose to go to Jack Wall, who was actually double covered, instead of going to K. Marion, who was right over the middle, wide open.
Sky-high punt is fair caught back at the 14-yard line, and Charleston will take over at that spot.
Wait, they really got that far, and they punted. They were inside the 30 at the 27-yard line, and they punt.
Yep.
I don't understand it.
Neither do I. So we'll see a handoff up the middle.
The wind has got to be terrible.
I don't know. I keep the windows closed in the booth.
They need a, I don't know.
Well, Ricky Bobby needs to make sure he doesn't skip leg day.
Got to be more than leg day.
Oh. 3rd down and
practice.
They're gonna mark.
You got to do practice. You got to practice.
Yeah, to kick some.
Maybe he don't like practice.
Kick some field goals. Practice.
He shows up on game day.
Well, trying to put Charleston back deep, I guess. 1st down and 10. I didn't think he picked up the 1st down, but no challenge flag thrown. So Brad Taylor Wright takes a 3-yard carry up the middle, and now Charleston's got the opportunity to work their way down the field.
And this is, and to me, this is a situation where like every inch counts, right? So why wouldn't you make that challenge call and everything else? That's what this game is shaping up to be right now, right? Like every inch of yard and everything else, and points and all this other stuff, man. We gotta, you know, you gotta make something happen here.
Caught up behind the line of scrimmage. 1-yard loss on the play. James getting the TFL. 3rd down and 8.
And Charleston has an opportunity right here, right? I know it's 3rd and 8, but I mean, they have an opportunity to get themselves in a situation where they really need to, you know, keep moving the ball down.
Lakeman throws complete. Deep pass almost all the way to midfield. Lunar gets another reception. 1st down and 10 for Charleston.
Yeah, what a pass and catch right there from Lakeman to Lunar on a 3rd and long, and it gets them near the midfield. And and their drive continues. It's just whatever else. And Albuquerque's just have struggled since the first quarter. They haven't done much of anything. That was their best drive since the first quarter.
Charleston's drive continues as the roll gets Francis into Albuquerque territory. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter. So we got an exciting finish coming up in this one. 14-12, Albuquerque out in front of Charleston. 3 quarters in the books. 10 minutes remains here from Albuquerque.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
I'm Mike Daggs. He's Gerald Smith. Tyler Falk, Jacob Clear with us on stats tonight. Cameron Irvine, our producer. 3rd down and 5 coming up for Charleston. Obviously outside of field goal range, even for Brechet. Want to get this one a little bit closer, keep this drive alive.
Yeah, if they want to come away with points, they definitely got to convert here.
LA out in front over Indianapolis by 10 points. Minute 47 to go in that one. We'll keep you posted. Lakeman tries to pick it up himself. Can't do it. Slides down 4th and 1.
At this point right here, it's 4th and 1. Do you keep the offense on the field and do you go for it? Obviously, they're not. But I would think about going for it here.
I'd be tempted to, but it's too close to midfield. You're still very much in this one. Your defense has done great. Other than the first 2 drives, you haven't allowed Albuquerque to score anything. I'd try to pin them deep and put your defense out there, have them get you that ball back.
I would have went for it.
That's why I'm 4 and 2 and you're 2 and 4.
I'm not 2 and 4. I'm 2 and 3.
Yeah, whatever.
By the way.
I'm sorry.
Don't give me that extra L.
1st down and 10 for Albuquerque. Jive over the middle. Oh, wide open. Wide open all day. Greg Corky gets his 4th catch.
Yeah, and he Cyber's Jive literally ran closer to the line, got more into the mess, and somehow he was crazily composed with people falling at his feet and is able to find Greg Corky to get him just beyond the their own 35-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Adams. Run up top. Craig Reynolds, his 4th rush of the day, goes for a gain of 5. 2nd down, Albuquerque. 8:22 to go in this one.
And this is looking very similar to like the last drive they had, right? Where they actually kind of moseyed on down the field and it just stalled crazily inside the 30. I don't know if their kicker even showed up for the game at all, and they ended up punting. So, like, I'm actually wondering how close they have to get before they have confidence in their kicker to allow them to go out there and make a kick.
Well, we know he can do extra points.
Well, you mean at the 2?
For sure at the 2.
I think we might be able to kick it from there.
I can kick it from the 2. Jeffrey has me go to the high school stadium nearby and practice kicks with him every once in a while. That run not picked up.
What a
Michael Knight.
stop.
Yeah. Great stop.
Wow.
Khalil Thomas getting that one stopped. And, yeah, Albuquerque's going to punt this one away.
And here man, look, it's Albuquerque again, right? They get themselves in a pretty decent area, right? They just stop and inside the 40s. Inside the 40 on this one, too. Look at Doug Britton.
Charleston gets the ball up to the 29-yard line.
That dude's such a bully in the return
He
game.
really is, yeah. He's like, no, get off me. I'm still running. He's like you during the show when it comes to talking. You're like, I'm not done yet.
I concur.
You can respect that, right?
I concur. Yep.
1st and 10 from the 29.
Albuquerque had a chance right on the previous drive, and here they are. They just give the ball right back to Charleston and see what Charleston's going to be able to do with it.
Nick Hoagland gets a gain of 2. And Charleston has a unique opportunity here now. I mean, they've got a whole lot of field ahead of them. If they can work their way down the field and take a bunch of time off the clock, they've at least got potential to score without much time left.
Look, and if they end up playing it right, I mean, they can look. I know a team, that killed about 6 minutes of game time to a win. One of their only 2 wins. Thinking about my team, went down there and just chewed the clock up and didn't even give them the ball back. And Charleston can do that same thing here if they play the cards right and be able to pick up these third downs.
Well, yeah, they've rebounded in the rushing game. You can see what they did there in the second half. First time we saw that graphic, they only had 5 yards. Nice first down pickup for Charleston. That pass to Zora Lunar.
Yeah, and he's made a couple of good catches on these last couple of drives. So look, and the leg man is looking really, really good. He started out a little bit rocky and not getting himself, kind of having a few incomplete passes, but he's kind of rebounding. He's finding his guys.
Oh, wow. That run well defended. Nick Hoagland looked like a pinball back there. Tackled for a 1-yard loss.
They blew it up.
They sure did.
And I think part of how quick they can get there is because they actually have Bryant James playing like the linebacker spot. He's so fast off of the ball from the linebacker spot, even though it's a safety, and it's causing some disruption right there at the offensive line.
The leg man shuffles, throws. That one's incomplete. Tried to get it out to Solomon. 3rd and 11.
Solomon's got to pull that in. You have to help your quarterback in that situation. You had your hands on it, and I mean, you got to be able to pull those in. I mean, we see that a lot, right, with some of the, the pass catchers here, right? They get hit, and they end up getting hit right on his hands, but those are the catches you have to make in big-time moments.
Big 3rd down coming up. Lakeman throws, middle, incomplete. Batted away by Amar Bryant Jr. 4th and 11. Charleston's going to have to punt.
Now Albuquerque is going to have an opportunity when they get the ball back to kind of waste all this clock out, and they're in the lead. Look, and they don't have to be in a rush for anything, right? They got a 2-point lead and everything else, but their drives have been extremely short, especially the last one. The other one, they got down there and they got within range to get points, but had no confidence in the kicker to do so.
Yeah, Albuquerque's last 3 drives have been less than 2 minutes. So, got a game break from L.A. Cameron Irvine, take it away.
Thank you, Mike. What a night for the Los Angeles backfield. Darius Iniguez, over 100 yards for the first time in the 4K23 era. Jalen Wells, over 100 yards for the first time in the 4K23 era. And L.A. beats Indy 38-21. Your final. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam.
Wait, did you say 38-21?
Oh, yeah.
That looked like 28-21.
Well, it was at that point.
Well, there was a lot more context.
So many things happened. I believe the game had a pick 6 near the end.
Well, I think we lost that pick.
We definitely lost that pick. By
way off.
Yeah,
by 17 points. What was the line? What was the line on that game? I would like to know the line on that game. Like, what was the betting line there? I'm assuming that, Indy could have been double digit. Well, maybe they're not. Well,
nope,
we just
3.5.
from 3.5. Well, that was a very good line.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see what Albuquerque can do in this one. We got a 2-point ball game, 4 minutes left to go. And to your point, Gerald, when I mentioned that Charleston had a unique opportunity to try to waste some clock, get all the way down the field, score, not leave much time left, that's all well and good. Albuquerque, all they have to do is waste time. They already got the lead.
Yep, they don't have to score. They can just pick up first downs here and there.
Yep,
oh, what a catch.
That's
and
one way to do it.
First down
slide and roll. You know what? That's the nice hands catch. Brought to you by Retroid. Put the SFL console in your hand and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K 23. Go Retroid.com. K. Marion catching it and rolling.
Oh, and that's how good she is. She knew where the first down was, and she rode her way to it. Knew she wasn't touched, and just rode her way to it.
Keeping the drive alive, keeping that clock ticking. Jason Williams picks up 5. Next snap will be with less than 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, look, and they're in no rush. If I'm Albuquerque here, I'm letting this thing go down to 1 second before I'm snapping it, right? If you snap the ball with above 10 seconds on the play clock, somebody needs to go down there and talk to that coach and the quarterback. And they just did that.
They sure did. Just to spite you, I believe. Craig Reynolds gets the first down, and that'll chew up a bunch of time. Charleston's going to be forced at this point to start burning up timeouts. Probably wait till the 2-minute warning to get that started.
Well, I would, if I'm Charleston here, right, I would let this play run, and then I would call a timeout right there, especially if it's not a huge, large gain.
Oh, that was dangerous as could be.
Well, that was a terrible call by the offensive coordinator. I would have not thrown it because they were doing so good running the ball the last 2 plays.
They have been doing fantastic running the ball.
And you just literally gave a free timeout to Charleston right here, because I would have called a timeout on a running clock if I was Charleston before the 2-minute warning.
2nd down and 10.
Don't throw it.
Jive under center. Spites Gerald once again. Throws deep over the middle and completely misses everybody. Trying to force it to K. Marion at that point. 3rd down and 10. Gerald, all they had to do was hand it off one time 2 snaps ago, and it would have gone to the 2-minute warning. Could have handed it off another time. You're going to force Charleston to start burning timeouts. That would force them to go into the hurry up, and once they even get back on offense, like, you just gave them 2 free timeouts.
Right, and watch something crazy happen, like they do like a draw or some sort of a shuffle pass.
Yeah,
and I will lose my mind. No, what are you doing?
Quick handoff. Now they're going to let this go to the 2-minute warning, but then they're going to punt it away. So here we go, Charleston. You'll get the ball back. You'll have all 3 timeouts. You'll have 2 minutes to work your way down the field to get into Brad Brechet range, which is about the 35-yard line.
You had the previous 2 plays
you had the game
run
won.
that call. Look, it's 4 yards right there you picked up on that down right there. And then you just – and they didn't even let him go down to the 2-minute warning.
Now we'll be at the 2-minute warning. Just questionable play calling all the way around on that final segment of that last drive. 2 minutes to go here from Albuquerque. You're watching the Simulation Football League on YouTube.
That was not good clock management, not very good play calling by our offensive coordinator. You run on 1st down, 2nd down, because they were running the ball very well. You just gave it right back to Charleston and gave them an opportunity to actually do something with it.
That being said, Charleston's got to do something here too. You know, I get it. You got the running game going in the second half, but now's not the time. Now you got to get down in field goal range. I get that you want to be the last team to score here, but you got a minute and a half and you're running it again. 3rd down and 10. No timeouts called still.
I don't understand what these coaches are seeing and why they're calling these plays. Oof. Like you got to get down the field, and you got to get down the field. Yeah, you have 3 timeouts, but now you're in a position that you have to throw, and then you're at your own 19. You're actually like, what?
Lakeman over the middle gets the first down. Now they'll call it.
What is going on? Like, what do we? Not a hurry up.
No hurry up. No timeouts.
There's no timeout.
Like I said, they want to be the last team to score.
Yeah,
now it's less than a minute. Now we'll see some timeouts.
But they're 30-plus yards from field goal range.
Oh, I get it. Now we're putting Doug Spelling in motion. 50 seconds. Watch for a big pass to Doug Spelling here. Never mind.
Can we get a timeout here?
Yes. Timeout, Charleston, their first.
Like, I don't know. I don't know who's trying to lose this game better. I really don't know, because it's just terrible play calling right now.
From their own 34-yard line. Less than a minute to go. Solomon in motion. Empty backfield look for the Predators. Lakeman throws to the bottom. That one was nearly picked off. TJ Frosty had an opportunity to ice this game, and it bounced out of his hands. 3rd and 8, 36 seconds.
I'm so confused right now. I don't know what's going on. I know that was a pass play, but like I don't know what the Charleston offense was thinking there, because at least to start this drive, then more of a favorable formation here.
Lakeman throws. Spelling. That was the play I was expecting to see a couple snaps ago. Spelling could not haul that one in. Great breakup by Frosty. 4th and 8. It comes down to this. With 32 seconds left, those 2 timeouts won't save them. If it's a turnover on downs or a straight-up turnover, Albuquerque will win the game. Get the first down. You keep the drive going.
Now, these wide receivers have to understand where the markers are. Don't stop your route before the marker.
Lakeman shovel passes, and does he get it? No. Turnover on downs, and Albuquerque will win the game. Gerald,
He almost picked that up, but that's a terrible play.
That's not the right play call for that situation, but it almost worked. But Albuquerque.
I would like to see a review on it, even though I think we clearly got it. I would like to see the referees at least take a look at it to see how close he was, and they're not. And this game is over.
It is.
It's, and look, and this is Charleston. I feel like they both gave each other an opportunity to win this game, and then they both just failed miserably at it, because Albuquerque was in a position to just almost run the clock out. They were running the ball very strongly, and then they decided to throw a couple of passes and then run on 3rd down, which was confusing on its own. Then Charleston gets the ball back, and they were acting like it's the opening drive of the game.
Yeah.
And running the ball, and it just was massive confusion on my part, because I don't understand, like, where's the sense of urgency? Yeah,
right.
Hey, you're 4-2. You're one. By record wise, you're one of the best teams in the league, but something's obviously wrong, because that just looked like a mess.
That was a mess indeed. Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, I think, is the saying. I'm not really sure. Albuquerque scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives of the ball game in the first quarter. They would not score again. 12 unanswered points by Charleston, but not enough to take the lead at any point in the game, and Albuquerque remains undefeated at home. They'll win their 3rd one on the season and advance to 3-4. Charleston will fall to 4-3. A truly bizarre finish. Gerald, as we see the final stats in this one, your final thoughts?
Albuquerque hung on since the first quarter after getting that 14-point lead, and then just not doing anything offensively, right? And they had an opportunity to kick a field goal. They decided not to. But Charleston, I don't know if this, I think both teams, for whatever reason, was playing not to lose. And when you play not to lose, it ends up being this weird, janky type game. And that's kind of what it was. It wasn't a very good game at all. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I don't understand what the play calling ideas were and that stuff. But look, it made sense to somebody. It didn't make sense to me.
Right.
Maybe that's why my team sits where it does, and they sitting out where they are. But I don't know. I have no answer for this. But look, Albuquerque improves, gets themselves another win. And Charleston, I mean, they lose ground in the East Division now, right? And they have a team like Carolina that's on their heels, and they also have, and they're trying to compete with Florida for the division. So I think they took a step back today by losing this game in this manner.
Charleston falls to 4-3. Albuquerque improves to 3-4. Next up for Charleston in Week 10, they will be home versus Nashville. Albuquerque will be home versus Vancouver in Week 10. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League on YouTube. For Gerald Smith, Cameron Irvine, Matt Wilson, who's always with me in spirit, I am Mike Daggs. Thank you for joining us. Be kind to one another. Always choose happy. Have a great night and enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. We'll see you.